Scorpio, how's everybody doing? Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing you in a very authentic, genuine, creative energy. I'm seeing you like expressing yourself in the way that you want to. You're not holding back. Like, you look like you're vibing out with something. It's like one of those moments where you remember who you are. Interesting. Scorpio doesn't want to talk today. You may find that this reading is relevant for you wherever Scorpio falls in your chart. For example, if Scorpio is your moon, you may find things in the reading to be happening like less in a literal sense and more on an emotional level. If Scorpio is your rising, or you have Pluto conjunct your ascendant like I do, you may find that the Scorpio reading resonates for you more within your physical life, like in your physical reality. If it's your Venus, you may find it relate more to like your interpersonal relationships. So we're starting off with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is like having a moment of clarity, having a moment of truth, like feeling like your vision is very clear. It looks like you're even like bringing something together to see like the truth. Like there could have been something going on in the environment where there was some sort of like duality or like a yin and a yang, and I'm seeing you like converge these things to see like the whole side of whatever this is. For some of you too, I was getting this notion, as Scorpio, Pluto is naturally like very inquisitive, or like want to research things or wanting to find things out and like wanting to know. It's that notion of like curiosity killed the cat. There may have been a situation that you kind of like stopped yourself from looking into because you felt like it would not benefit you. It's like, yeah, you could ask that question or you could look into that, but like, is that actually going to benefit you? And for some of you, you may be like restraining yourself a little bit to not look into something because you don't think that it would benefit you anyway. So like, even if you're curious about something, you could be like, you know what, there's a time frame that I'm going to give myself to do that, and I don't want to be distracted by it all day. So like at this time, this is when I can look into that or do this or whatever, and I'm not going to let it distract me from the other things I need to get done. So it just looks like there may be something even that you are like an aspect of yourself that you're working on managing to benefit you more than anything. Because like Scorpio energy is very, very smart, but sometimes it can be an energy where it's like, even though you can figure that out and put all the pieces together, like, is that something that's going to benefit you to know or to look into? I'm seeing a tower. Like, this can even be like an epiphany that kind of blows your mind that you're having. Like something that you weren't expecting to realize, and it's just like, there it is. And now I'm seeing the Queen of Wands too. This can be you, it can be somebody that you're involved with. It can even be a moment of realizing like something that had been holding you back too from like stepping into your energy unapologetically is what I'm hearing. Here you are. I'm seeing like a new you breaking out of a situation, and I'm seeing you look very confident. Like there could have been something that happened that kind of was a tower moment for you, but I'm seeing you take this in stride, and it's like you couldn't come out in a better position. This is what I'm seeing, and I'm getting that this is also part of like a growth and a transition process for you right now. Like I'm seeing even some sort of evolution when it comes to like your confidence, how you're feeling yourself, how you're expressing yourself. This means you're going to feel more in touch with your intuition, more in touch with your creative energy, more in touch with your manifesting energy. And it's like transitioning and death and transformation is like no stranger to Scorpio energy. It's like that is the epitome of what you are. So it is to be celebrated. Because like as you're changing and as you're transitioning and as you're evolving, there's like this new energy that you're stepping into, and I'm seeing you look like more like yourself than you ever have. And I remember the Six of Swords coming out for you in the last spread too. Like for some reason this is sticking to me. It looks like you learned the truth and you saw something that you needed to see, and I'm watching you move away from something, and it looks like you're even moving towards spirit, and there's something that's being revealed to you. See, this is a notion of you being like, this isn't working for me anymore, this isn't resonating for me anymore, or this brings too much drama or chaos into my life and I'm moving on from it. Like I'm seeing this epiphany that you have be so very important to you. And then I'm seeing you like move towards spirit, and you see how this person, it's like they're opening like Pandora's box here. It's like you open something up, and it's like you're finally seeing something, or you have access to something that you didn't have before. But it's only because like the tower revealed this to you. So it's like if this earthquake did not happen, it's almost like there was some sort of like mass that needed to be broken down in order for you to like see what was actually underneath there. And I'm seeing like something even be dug up right now. This can be stuff that's going on because of the planetary transitions too. Like I'm getting something with Pluto right now. Yeah, even something within the heart space was revealed to you that you needed to see. It's like, you see the Three of Swords, how this heart is very clear. There could have been stuff going on in the heart space that was blocking you that you needed to see, but now it's like you can see everything that had pierced it, and so you know also how to extricate that to clear out the heart chakra. And I'm seeing you do this through like your belief system, your spirituality, like your higher self, like you getting connected with that. But it's like until you were willing to like open this up, like I'm even seeing this be related to the heart chakra. You see how this person is like opening that up? It's like it's opening up so you can see what's going on in the heart chakra. But until you moved out of a chaotic situation, you would not have been able to do this. It's like you wouldn't have had access to this box or like to the heart chakra to be able to open it up. But because you made the move to get away from something that you recognized was out of alignment for you or not resonating with you, like until you made this choice, and this could have been something that like really disassembled your reality in some sort of way, because you decided to do this and go with what you knew was right for you and like step into a very empowered energy, which means that like something is changing for you overall. You wouldn't have access to this, but because you did, I'm seeing like you're now able to tap into something that you had not been able to tap into before, and it's something that like brings you like even more power. Like this could even be like some sort of latent ability that you weren't able to access before that now you have free reign of, is what I'm hearing. But yeah, there was some sort of like healing that was needed, or like you needed to see something that like when you were in that situation before, you weren't able to review this thing that you needed to look into. Which I'm seeing then like leads you, talking about power, this is the Magician. I'm seeing this then like leads you into another transition, and I'm seeing you come out as the Magician. This has to do also with if you are manifesting from a place where your heart chakra is not completely cleared out, you're going to be like manifesting cycles that do not feel good. You're going to be running into the same issues with people. It's like the same thing that gets repeated over and over again. But because of looking into this thing and like getting connected with something, I'm even hearing source. It was like something that you needed to get connected with that now you're able to like have this insight that you didn't have before. You can manifest from a cleared space. And I'm seeing like Scorpio and Mercury energy like be merged here, and like Pluto energy is extremely potent, and I'm seeing you like be able to like increase your manifesting abilities like because of this cleared heart chakra. So this means too, when we clear the heart chakra, that we are also are more in alignment with the things that we're manifesting. And so like we manifest the correct things for us. Like rather than situations that we don't want to be in, we start manifesting situations that we do want to be in. And this is because it's coming from a cleared intention space. But it's like when you're going after the wrong things or the intention space is not correct, you just like manifest like more disaster essentially into your life. But I'm seeing you just like be very much on track here. But there was some sort of like even ego death or some sort of big healing that you had to go through, like even in order to recognize like your power and what you were able to create and how you're able to take action and how effective you can be. And it looks like you're starting something new, like starting like a new relationship or a new direction. For some of you, it's a new job that you're starting. It even looks like a bunch of different avenues have been opened up for you now. I'm getting like, because of whatever situation you hadn't been in before, it like had not been allowing you to discover these things that now you have access to. I'm seeing like this move that you made be very important, and it carried you into like a land of possibilities, so to speak. Like, for some of you, you're even having, like, a bit of a spiritual awakening, I'm seeing. Wow, I'm seeing a complete merging of your masculine and feminine energy when it comes to, like, you taking action, how you're feeling about yourself, getting things done, your creativity, what you're making from that space. For some of you, too, there's, like, some sort of project or relationship that you're starting. It really does feel like something that had been blocking you has been, like, completely cleared out. And I'm seeing you be, like, strengthened by this. It's like reigniting your life force is what I'm hearing. It's almost like something even comes to life now that had kind of been dulled out before. Because there could have even been something that you were involved with or someone within your environment that it was like making it harder for you to like get your bearings or even see yourself. And now I'm seeing like something that you're executing. It even looks like you stepped into a place where you recognize like the importance of you advocating for yourself and like being confident enough to actually do that and like protect your heart space. So it's like knowing your worth, like understanding your power, like understanding what you can do, what you're meant to be doing, like advocating for yourself, advocating for other people, like saying what you need to say. Also being able to be more receptive without stepping immediately into a defensive energy. It's like being able to hear people out and knowing that like just because you're listening to someone, it doesn't mean you have to agree, but you can still like hear their side of the story even. And like before, if your heart chakra was blocked, if you were like hearing somebody that may have had a different opinion than you, this could have been something that felt very triggering to you because of like a lack of validating yourself. But now because the heart chakra is cleared out, there's like more of an ability to like be receptive and listen to other people. And this also helps you like understand like the reality of the situations that you're in, rather than being in a space where you continuously project onto other people. Out of a space of insecurity is what I'm hearing. And I'm seeing you like really pick it up. I'm seeing you go very quickly. Something that you're even manifesting is happening very rapidly. I'm looking at the Magician and the Eight of Wands here. Unless you went through this transition, this transformation, this would not have happened for you. But I'm seeing like something really difficult that you went through that really like progressed you on a personal level with the work that you're doing. And it's almost like you're being like gifted the ability to do something now, or even that you like remember or recognize or get back in touch with something that you are able to do now and like feel very empowered because of that. I'm looking at Mars, Scorpio, Taurus. So yeah, it looks like you're moving away from, you saw the light, you saw something that you needed to see, you had an epiphany, you realized something. You were like, you know what, this isn't for me anymore, this isn't working, or like now I know where I need to go, and I'm seeing you immediately go into something else. You like pivot your direction, or you change, or you start a new project, or there's something that you're working on now that you feel excited about. Then I'm seeing the Tower happen, and it's like, it looks like maybe even some sort of like spiritual awakening or an epiphany, or like there's something that you learned. Like I'm seeing this be, I'm hearing a glow up. Like there's definitely something big that you've gained through this experience, and you also are recognizing your power and how you can take action, your like responsibility, and how you get to control something that maybe you didn't feel like you were in control before. It's almost one of those moments where you're like, you know what, because I'm responsible, this means I don't have to stick in this situation either, because I'm responsible for getting myself out of it. And then you're like, oh, I can get myself out of this situation, or I can move in this direction, and I don't need to wait for this person or wait for those pieces to fall into place. Like I need to take action and do this now. So I'm seeing like something that you did for yourself, and I'm seeing you like be more confident. I'm seeing you trust yourself more. I'm seeing you like get more comfortable advocating for yourself, which for some of you, it's like when you were younger, maybe you didn't feel like you were particularly like your voice wasn't heard by other people, or there was something going on where like you may have struggled in some way to like advocate for yourself. And this may have like had the effect of making you like less receptive also to other people, but because this is being cleared out, I'm seeing like a transition that you're going through, and I'm seeing you like recognize your power within that. And there's like such, it looks like there was so much more like fear and like constraint before, that now it's like you're breaking out of a cage and like something is being released, and I'm just seeing you like take off. It's like no chains are holding you back anymore. I'm seeing you just move so quickly. This was part of a karmic test for you, I'm seeing. I'm also hearing recognizing your strengths. For some of you, you could have been like scared of reconnecting with someone, or feeling like really paranoid. Like I'm seeing something even feel like nightmarish to you with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Cups. Like you see how this person looks like kind of terrified. Like something could have put you in a spot where you even felt like it triggered things like some sort of trauma even from your childhood, like related even to like reconciling with someone. Like, I'm seeing, like, a heavy sense of, like, fear about something. But this can be, like, a way where you get into your own head. Because that can be, like, part of Scorpio's shadow for sure is, like, a sense of, like, paranoia and, like, hypervigilance and feeling like people are against you, or, like, you have nobody looking out for you, and, like, you're all on your own. And, like, sometimes that is the reality of the situation, but then sometimes it's not. So, like, when we are grounded, we can be more sure about, like, what we're perceiving. Because it even looks like being afraid of, like, connecting with someone in a certain type of way. But it's also something that you want. It's, like, something that you're scared of and also something that you want. But this would mean, too, like, maybe admitting, like, fear or feeling vulnerable with someone in order to let them in. Because it's, like, you can either... You see, like... In the center is the Three of Cups. So this means like you connecting with someone, okay? On one side, there's like so much fear surrounding this. So it's like you can make a choice out of fear and not feel empowered by that. Or like look at the difference between that card and then this card, the Nine of Cups. It's like something that you want. Or you can like get vulnerable and make an empowered choice and go in that direction. But it's like you get to choose, like paranoia and suffering and like not letting somebody in and like lacking a sense of vulnerability and just feeling out of touch and feeling scared of everything. Or there's a sense of like being like, you know what, this is something that I want and it's worth it to me, and so I'm gonna make this happen. Because this can also be a fear of like being taken advantage of, or like letting someone in and then feeling let down by them. But this is something that's like, it's all going on within the psyche space. And it's like, you could be so much happier going through the experiences. And the more well-adjusted you are, the more that even when things don't meet your expectations, you still are able to like groove with the things rather than getting so caught up that you feel like it's the end of the world. Because you could really be catastrophizing with something. And that like all or nothing mentality is something that is going to be extremely detrimental to you. So this looks like some big shadow work that's being addressed. Like there may even be something that you would need to admit in order to have this thing that you want, or like something that you would need to do. Yeah, to see the Nine of Swords and the Hanged Man, if you have a lot of Scorpio and Pisces within your chart, like that concoction of the two of those like mixed together, when it's in a shadow space, it can be like kind of delusional sometimes. It can be like a bit out of touch with reality. It can be like wanting to escape things, wanting to avoid things, wanting things to be very different than they are, and not being in touch with the way that stuff is, and feeling very, very convinced when it comes to like your imagination. So grounding that energy is going to be so important for you to see like what it is that you want, and to see like realistically what's going on within your reality. Especially too, because like with the Pisces and Scorpio energy, like both of these energies are also very psychic energies, but when they are ungrounded, they can become psychotic. It can be like something that's like a neurosis that's happening. So that's also why it needs to be grounded too. Because it can be like you perceiving things that are happening that are not actually happening. So you want to make sure that you stay in touch and do anything that like brings you into your body. Like make sure that you're checking yourself. Like any sort of grounding techniques that work for you are going to be important. Because like for some of you, when you tap into your fears, like you may still be working on like learning how to manage them. And when they are unmanaged and you just continue feeding into it and going into situations that are triggering for you, you may be like beyond your capacity, and you need to like read yourself and figure out like where your limits and boundaries are and what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. Because it looks like something really big that you're facing here. But I'm seeing like because of certain aspects within your chart, it may be like more difficult for you to work with these energies. Pluto and Neptune are very, very strong, very, very potent. It takes like a lot of learning, and I'm also hearing muscle memory to like learn how to work those energies and to ground them. So know too that it is a process. I want to say this too, like with the Neptune energy, yeah, with this energy that I'm seeing, it's like I'm seeing you get so caught up in your head. It feels like such a fear of like someone betraying you, that this like may hold you back from actually connecting with somebody that you're meant to be connecting with. But it's a matter of free will, and if like you're not willing to like break something down, like this can even be something that you're so resistant to seeing that it's like going to be potentially a missed opportunity. However, if you are able to like curate this energy, you're going to be able to use it to your benefit. So with the Neptune energy too, if that is ungrounded, you may be perceiving that like another person's intention is something, or that they're feeling something, and it may be a complete projection that you're putting onto them. So that's why it's also necessary to ground that energy. And the same thing can happen with the Scorpio energy too. When it's in its shadow, you may feel like people are like going to you can feel like very hyper vigilant about other people's energies, or like they're gonna like sabotage you in some sort of way, or that they're out to get you. It's stuff like that. Like feeling very paranoid, feeling hyper fixated on stuff. So I'm seeing something like definitely with the mental health that needs to be like grounded, like very much grounded, because this is something that can get out of control, and you can like definitely like break away a bit from reality. This is what I'm seeing here. It's like you worry so much that it becomes this like whole big thing, and like in reality that was never that person's intention. But it also too can be coming from a place of guilt too, so just remember that too. Like if you're doing something that's out of alignment, like you're going to perceive other people as doing things that are out of alignment as well, and like be threatening towards you. Now, like in the light side of it, like light meaning like consciousness and awareness and all of that, like a higher vibration of Scorpio energy. You can like read through what everyone is doing, what they're thinking. Again, like Neptune and Scorpio are very psychic energies. There's a sense of being able to like know what other people are thinking, like being on the same wavelength as them. Being able to understand something deeply on a psychological level. Knowing how to like move situations in the way that you want to. Scorpio also has the ability to like manipulate things, but sometimes it can be in a way that is in alignment, sometimes it can be in a way that's out of alignment, and you always want to check your intention space when you're doing that. Like ask why you're going into certain situations, and also like what type of effect that's going to have on you. For some of you too, it just seems like you could be feeding into something, and like this may not be something that you're doing. This can be like somebody that you're hanging around, or it can be like something that you're ingesting. It can be like any sort of intoxicant, like something like that, that has you feeling like more paranoid. Like for some of you, it's like if you're smoking, like it may not be suggested for you to be smoking, especially if you have a lot of Neptune in your chart, because it's something that can like lead to increased paranoia. Like it can exacerbate certain things that you don't want exacerbated, because like when we do drugs, it basically like blows open certain chakras that you have. So then it's like a very ungrounded energy, and it's like all your energy is channeling into something, and if you don't know how to manage that, and it's going to make it harder to manage, like if you're on something and you're not sober, things may become like very out of control. Especially with the ways that you're like analyzing and receiving things, like things will be very distorted for you, and it will be like very ungrounding as well. So just be mindful, like especially those of you that have a lot of Scorpio and Neptune in your chart. Scorpio and Pisces, Pluto and Neptune. What I was saying, let's backtrack a little bit. What I was saying too is that if you're watching certain things that increase like your paranoia or fear, or things that are scary to you or triggering to you in any sort of way, be mindful of that in the way that it affects you, how you're feeling. It can be music you listen to, it can be media that you are consuming, it can be like certain people that you're around too, or putting yourself into triggering situations. So these are all things that can like be bringing up some sort of trauma response. So be mindful of that, of like what you're doing and how you're feeling when you're involved in these certain things, like how you're impacted energetically. Because there could even be some feelings like tied around someone, and it's like when you think about this certain person or like connecting, I don't know, I'm getting like, remember energies can be reversed. This can be the person that you're dealing with too. I want to get further and see what this is about. For some of you, it's like you want to connect with somebody, but like in the back of your head, because something is not grounded, you feel like it's just going to be a disaster. So it will be a disaster because that's what you're projecting onto it. But I want to see if like something else is going on here. Because it seems like there's some sort of wall that needs to be broken down. For some of you, you feel like someone's going to cheat on you if you reconnect with them. But as I said before, this can be a guilty space. It's like if you were doing something like that, of course, you're going to feel like this other person would do that too because you're projecting onto them. But again, this can be the person that you're dealing with too that's feeling this way. Yeah, I'm just getting like somebody's like having some sort of guilt trip. So like, I don't know if this is like you putting this onto another person when it comes to starting something with them, or it's like this person that you've been dealing with, but it's like because somebody's not been being honest about like something that they were doing or something that was going on. It's something that like affects the connection and affects the relationship. So like somebody actually may be feeling like really poorly about something that they chose to do, but like they could have done this out of fear. Like I'm seeing this be one of those moments where, and this is not an excuse, I'm just explaining to you what I'm seeing. Somebody may have felt scared that like you were going to, I'm hearing destroy them, that you were going to like betray them in some sort of way. And so they were like, well, how do I take advantage in this situation? And I'm seeing something like it comes from like an extreme shadow fear space with this person. And that is like the basis for what's been going on and why this person has like proved inconsistent. Like this person could have cheated on you if you guys were together. There's still definitely like a physical attraction or a connection between you and this person, but I'm just seeing someone's intention space is not cleared out. And like also to see the work that you did in the beginning of this, to be like getting back involved with this energy, it looks like something that like, because you may have a Neptune contact with someone, when you have a Neptune contact in your synastry, this can be an experience that you have with someone where it's like you focus on all of like the good things and like how you want this person to be, and in reality like you're not seeing everything that's going on with them, especially the more shadow stuff. And so then you're like surprised when something happens and you're like, oh, that's so out of character for them. Meanwhile, it's been in alignment with their character. It's been in alignment with their shadow. You just have been negating their shadow because of Neptune here. Because Neptune is like, look at the fantasy and look at how you want to look at this person, and then you don't see the reality of what's actually going on. It can be like that. As I said before, like Neptune in a shadow can be like full of like illusion, and it can be like a semi-delusional energy when it is ungrounded. And so when we have a contact with somebody like that, it's like you're looking at them through rose-colored shades, rather than like seeing the reality and the gravity of the situation, is what I'm hearing. But it's hard too, because I'm still seeing like feelings be involved between you and this person. But also like somebody's not willing to commit, because like they would come across in a way that would be like more arrogant or confident, or like just come through and have no issue being like yeah, you're hot, like I want to get with you, whatever this person is doing, like however they're coming through, and like there's an attraction there. But the reason that they're in this like player type of energy is because they're actually scared of being betrayed. So it's like this person will be like, well, I'll cheat on you first, or like I'm not settling down, even though like they may tell you that they want some sort of commitment so they can get what they want from you. But like behind all of it, they're just scared. This is what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing someone that may come across like big and bad, and like however it is that they move through, and like looking really confident and like I got this, I can handle this. Like I'm seeing like such a bravado with this person, but behind it is like this is how they're feeling. It's like they're just scared. They're scared of being vulnerable. They're scared of being taken advantage of if they're vulnerable. And there's nothing you can do to this person to appeal to them to change that. This is all their free will and what they are deciding to do. So know that, to recognize that. Because with the Hanged Man too, with Neptune can be like, oh, like, look at that poor puppy, I'm gonna fix them up, like, whatever, you know. And this is something that you need to see, like, this can be a situation where you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by getting involved with this person, because this is somebody that's going to strike back if they are perceiving any type of slight towards them, so you want to be careful. Because this is something where you can have the best intentions, but because this person cannot see you clearly, no matter what you do, like, they may very much take offense at, like, the most seemingly random things, but it's because they're not working through stuff themselves. Like, I'm seeing somebody very much stuck in their shadow here, Scorpio. So you may want to rethink the opportunity with this person, because even though you feel attracted to them, it just looks like there's a lot going on behind the scenes with them, but I'm not seeing them even be willing to talk to you about this. Like, truly, like, this person would probably benefit from some type of therapy, but I don't even know if they would be willing to be honest with a therapist. And so, like, it all is just going to depend on, like, what this person does with their shadow energy. But for right now, this may not be, like, the best situation for you to get involved in. Like, this person may even get, like, aggressive in some sort of way, like, even in a covert type of way. Yeah, like, to protect themselves, but it may just be something, like, unsavory that they do, or something that, like, happens when they feel cornered, and, like, anything could really set this person off because they're not managing their emotional health, their mental health, not in an effective way. But I am seeing, like, the way that they present is very, very different than what's going on behind the scenes. I'm hearing so know that. This person has just, like, really put themselves inside of a box. And they're, like, until they get in touch with their inner child and, like, nurture their inner child and can be, like, open to things that will also nurture their inner child, it's like they're too scared to come out and play with you. Like, they're too scared to, like, let their guard down and connect with you in, like, an intimate, authentic way right now. But yeah, this person, it just looks like they need some... It's not just that they need some sort of help, because, like, this person may even have, like, resources. It's interesting that we're tapping so much into, like, another person's energy. This person may even have resources available to get the type of help that they need, but until they are willing to accept that help, it's not going to do anything for them. So, like, they could have all of the resources available to them, and they can have, like, you there supporting them and all of that stuff, but until this person is willing to, like, come out, like, I'm just seeing such a closed off energy and, like, drop the defenses, because I'm just seeing them, like, scared. I'm seeing a scared energy, and this person is, like, in fight, flight, freeze. Like, there's just, like, so much going on, like, mental health wise with this person, and, like, spiritually with this person, that, like, as much as they have resources around them, until they decide with their own free will that they are willing to work on this stuff, they're going to stay stuck in that place. And there's nothing you can do. This is, like, the notion of, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's, like, one of those situations. This is not your karma to be taking on. This is this other person's choice, and we have to allow everybody to make the choices that they want and have the free will and just accept what somebody's going to do. You can know that this person would have a better life if they would like let love into their life or like go through a healing process or whatever. Like you can know all of that stuff, but it's not going to change what's happening. And I'm seeing like a sense of acceptance that's needed here. Like even though this does look like a very unfortunate situation, because things could be very different for this person, but they're just like, they're very scared. They're not willing to like change right now. I just keep getting this repeatedly. I'm seeing somebody very, very scared. Like this is somebody that like has gone through trauma that has not processed the trauma that they've gone through. And like their coping skill is to like shut down and turn off and to avoid and dissociate. This is what I'm seeing. So like this is not somebody that you're going to be able to have a functional relationship with right now. For some of you too, the only way that this person will interact with you is like even in a sexual manner. It's like that's the only way that they'll get vulnerable with you is like in a physical way, but it's like it's lacking a mental connection, it's lacking a spiritual connection. It's like maybe at times you feel those things with this person, but there's like such a lacking because of like the stagnancy of where they are currently. And I'm seeing something that's like not ultimately going to resonate with you. It's like they're only offering you like 1/10 of like what you would want within a relationship, and they're also not going to be faithful either. Like this is somebody that is going to like it's like 1/20th because it's like they'll physically like potentially give you what you want, but not consistently. They will not be like consistent in any shape or form because they're like not consistent within their own lives. Like this is somebody that like may have a hard time like holding on to a job. They may have like a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to their family, when it comes to their friends. It's like they don't have anyone that's been around for a long time. Like they may like move around a lot, or there's just like a lot of back and forth within this person's life. Jobs, relationships, family, like whatever it is, it's like full of like back and forth and inconsistencies. And it's like one day they love you, one day they hate you. Like it's very much like that. It feels like very, very borderline, but extreme. Very, very extreme. Like I'm seeing definitely like avoidant attachment style with this person. This means too that like the more attached potentially they feel to you, like the more they resist you as well. So know that too. Which if you're not in that energy, it may be like a hard concept to understand too, because it's like if you like something, wouldn't you go towards it? And it's like, no, this person is moving in a very counterintuitive way, but that makes sense to them. I'm seeing you almost like put all these pieces together to like have something finally make sense that you hadn't been seeing before. It's like this last piece of something that goes into place. See, with the Hanged Man, it's like there was something that you needed to think about or understand or see differently that you hadn't been seeing before. So it's like now the Hanged Man is enlightened because the Hanged Man saw something that they needed to see, and I'm seeing it be like this piece right here. And see this piece like transition to like this one that this person has in their hand, and it's like now you can make a completion. There's like a full picture now that you're able to understand that you hadn't been seeing before. I'm getting to this notion of like, just because you have a physical connection with this person, don't get your hopes up and read into that and think that this means that other things are okay, because like there's a lot that you don't want to be writing off right now. Like a lot of red flags that I'm seeing, I'm hearing leading back to this person. So like do not overlook this stuff. This person like may even avoid like serious conversations with you. Like it may be hard to get a straight answer out of them as well. Like I'm seeing them, it's like you're like, I can help, we can talk about this, and I'm seeing them just be like, for some of you this person is not sober. Like for others of you it can just be something going on with the mental health, but it's like they're not in the place to be receptive to hear you. And I'm seeing, like, if you connect with this person, as much as, like, immediately it may feel good, after a while you're just going to be, like, in a down low type of energy. Like, I'm seeing something that, like, maybe within the first couple days or, like, a week or a month of, like, connecting with this person, it would feel good, and then it's like all of these other things, like, come out to play, and then you're back in this same situation again. So I'm seeing something that would feel, like, very disappointing. Like, I'm just seeing something that you would feel sad about, so. I'm hearing this gives you time to think about things. I'm just looking at Neptune here. Neptune contacts bring a lot of love into the connection. But yeah, it can, like, have you can be in a connection with someone where it's like you may just see, like, what they're projecting or, like, what they want you to see, and, like, not be seeing the other things that are going on. So that's kind of why I feel like the guides had us go into this deep dive of what's been going on with this person. All right, Scorpio, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.